says it's connecting. Good morning in Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. We're here this morning. LeAnne, Sooner Girl Travels, and I are here to look at historic Fort Gibson. This was something that they created to help with the division between the Osage and the Cherokee Nation, but they also used it during the Civil War. So along the way, we'll give you some facts, and in fact, we're going to try and see if we can hook up with this tour guide over down that way and see if he can tell us some interesting things about Fort Gibson. Should we ask his permission? I didn't know he was a tour guide. So over here is one of the barracks. It's what they called the gathering room. So I guess they would come in here after a day out and just sit around and talk. It's a not very big room to gather, so couldn't gather too many people in there.
So he said 2 major battles here.
Should we go in and look at the... So here's the 100 years later, the 100th anniversary. And they're working on rebuilding it.
She said the same thing. She read it too. I gave it to her to read. And it says nothing about YouTubers or online streaming.
You're so controversial.
I understand it. I understand what you're talking about, but if it doesn't say it.
Over here, it shows, well, let's start over here. 1824. In 1826, they started construction. No, it was completed in 1826. In 1832, they're on a mission with a peace treaty with the tribes.
So in 1963, it became a historic landmark.
Oh, wow.
That's Colonel Arbuckle. He's the one that brought 142 troops here to build the fort.
Do you mind if you're on YouTube?
No, me?
Well, or just your voice if you wanted to explain a little bit.
No, that's fine. It's just true. Yeah, he was, Colonel Arbuckle was the officer that brought the troops from Fort Smith. He closed down Fort Smith, and he brought 142 troops to here to build the fort.
Okay.
It wasn't originally supposed to be here, but there's a landing created by rock for the steamboats and the flatboats to come in, so it made it easier, so they built it right close to the water. The trouble is, the original fort flooded, just like the town floods now.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were water up to their knees for 2 weeks at a time. 540 troops died here from fever and due to they didn't understand it, the standing water, the mosquitoes and all that. Yeah.
wow.
What were the two major battles here?
Honey Springs was the big one. Here, that there's no major ones. There was a lot of skirmishes. The Confederate stayed across the river,
Okay.
and the Union was here, okay? But they would back and forth. They even would borrow tobacco and coffee from each other. But they tried to get in here 2 or 3 times, but didn't make it even close to the gates.
Oh, wow.
Fort Gibson was really, had some strong men. Plus the Buffalo Shoulder soldiers were here sometimes.
Okay.
And different things like that.
Okay.
Another one you ever want to go is the Honey Springs. That's where the original,
I know they do reenactments there, right?
that's the original Confederate and Army Union war was right there.
Wow.
And the African American troops from Kansas and the Indian troops that fought for the Union also.
Okay.
It was a very nice place. Oh my goodness.
Well, let's go. This is LeAnne. Thank you very much.
It's going to get hard this afternoon.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm heading back to Tulsa where it's going to be even
Oh, it's going to be worse.
a little controversial.
Oh, yeah, there's a big thing, but I'm glad I don't live up there anymore. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Help Cam compile those reports and talk to people. Keep track of everything that was going on.
Okay, so LeAnne and I aren't real up on our forts, but this is really interesting, and we're going to try and talk to different people who can explain more than we can. And he's right behind us, and that lady was very helpful. At first they weren't going to let me stream, but there's nothing in the rules that says I can't. It's just I can't take photography.
So this is where they store their,
Musket balls.
yeah, their cartridges, bayonets.
Oh my.
And there's a lot of wasp. East Blockhouse.
What's a blockhouse?
Well, back when I was a kid and we could tour this, they would actually let you go upstairs. And these are kind of like the towers where they, because they're on each of the 4 corners, where you can stick your rifle out there's little slots up there. So they
Okay.
could fire up on anyone before they ever got close.
So like a lookout tower where they could shoot from?
Yeah. So they could go up there. Maybe you can see it. Yeah. See in the little
Oh,
slot?
sure enough. See, there's little holes right there at the top where you could just stick your musket out or your rifle and shoot before they get too close.
And back when I was in elementary school, all of that was open where you could climb up. And
I want to catch up with this gentleman. I will ask permission first if he'll let me listen to him. This is the clerk's office. Pretty nice. I mean, honestly. Its own fireplace and bed and desk.
still makes me appreciate the comforts of home.
Yes. The Cherokees used to have a chief, and his name is John Ross, and I'm a descendant of John Ross, and he bought a house, what'd she say, after the Civil War, around this fort. If I get a chance, we'll go by and look at it.
Married and listed here.
Oh, nice.
That's why all the laundry and the spinning wheel.
Everybody.
Since
Has a
the lower
spinning
the
wheel.
soldier's rank, the harder it was on the common soldier.
God, but all of them have fireplaces.
There was no social contact between enlisted men's wives and officers' wives.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Enlisted wives were usually employed as laundresses, hospital matrons, servants. civilian quarters. Oh, I guess when,
Somebody visits?
yeah.
These are the officers' quarters up here.
cat
They were much
ones.
nicer.
Do you mind if we follow you?
Absolutely, come on.
Okay, this guy knows a lot more than I do.
A lot of times they would entertain.
Wow, they have like the china or the crystal out.
Excuse me, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
no,
didn't mean to walk in front
I
of
don't
you.
want to impose on you. So if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be.
So then this was their quarters.
Captains. They had better beds.
That's nice.
So the white uniform were their summer uniforms. The heavier uniform was their winter uniform. It was wool, and then they had a dress uniform as well that they wore.
How did they eat? Like, I mean, it seems like every room has like dishes in it or whatever. So did they have like a kitchen area,
They had a mess hall,
a mess hall?
where they would cook.
Is that up there?
The commissary's up there. The mess hall isn't. So we have up on the hill. We have the commissary. We have the bake oven where they would bake bread for the troops and make hardtacks. And then we have the hospital, which is being renovated to be our new visitor center. We have the adjutant's office. There's a foundation up there east of the adjutant's office where they did the first Dawes Commission and Curtis Commission
Okay.
out of here. And then there's the barracks across the street that are open. So
I've been in the
building over
visitor
there-
center, but that's about it.
Yeah, the building over here, the long building
Uh-huh.
that you see over the top of this roof right here is the mess hall. It's a reproduction of the mess hall. And we can go over there, I'll take you over there.
Okay.
And then the Sutler store, I'm cleaning them, so you're probably not going to want to videotape inside the Sutler store because there's a lot of modern stuff in there. So, I mean, you can videotape some stuff, but it's just kind of messy right now.
Okay. Very cool.
So where was the original fort setting?
So the entrance was over there, see where that railroad bridge is?
Yes.
So it was over there. There were, they chose this site for two reasons. One, because there's a rock ledge, like stair steps, where you could just get off the boat and walk right up. And the other is because of, it's 3 miles from where the three rivers converge, the Verdigris, the Grand River, and the Arkansas River.
Wow.
And so they brought supplies in that way with steam boats, and then also it was in close proximity to the Texas Road, which was a supply road from Kansas all the way down to Fort Washita, Fort Townsend. And so the two major battles were the Battle of Cabin Creek up by Pensacola, Oklahoma,
Okay.
and the Honey Springs battlefield.
Okay.
So the Confederate troops were never here. They were across the river, but they tried to get control and stop the supply line on the Texas Road, and they were unsuccessful because the Federal troops were able to counterattack and drive them out. So once the war was over, they left and never came back.
But before that, the Osage and the Cherokee, it was to help with that. I mean, we were reading
Right.
stuff online.
Right. So
Before the
originally
war?
it was built to keep peace, try to keep peace among the Osage and the Cherokees.
Okay.
And so, so the first group to come here were what they call the old settlers, and the Katuas. And then the next.
That's me.
The next.
I'm a Katua.
Are you?
Yeah.
And then the next group was the treaty party. So there were 4 men that illegally signed a treaty on behalf of the Cherokees called the Treaty of New Echota. It was Major Ridge, John Ridge, and then Stan Wadey and his brother Buck Wadey, who was also known as Elias Boudinot. So them, along with about 8,000 other Cherokees who felt it was inevitable that they move, came here. And that was the treaty party. And then President Jackson honored that treaty, which led to the Indian Removal Act, which led to the forced removal, and that was the Ross Party. And that's where they lost a quarter of their population on the Trail of
He's
Tears.
a relative. I mean, he's my distant relative. John Ross is.
So if you go to Park Hill, there's the only standing antebellum plantation home in Oklahoma. It was built by 42 slaves. It was John Ross's niece Minerva and her husband George Merle.
Oh wow.
John Ross had a plantation home a half a mile east of there called Rose Cottage.
Oh wow.
So
I've only seen the little one that's on the periphery that has his name in front of it that he bought or whatever.
so
The John Ross home.
well,
And then she said somebody looted it and
so Stan Wadey.
Yes.
So when they got here, when the Cherokees from Removal got here, they killed Major Ridge, John Ridge, and Elias Boudinot. So if you go to Hunter's home, right before you get there, or the Merle home, right before you get there, there's a stop sign, a trailer park on the corner. If you make a right and follow the road, you're going to come to Park Hill Cemetery.
Okay.
Directly across the street from Park Hill Cemetery is Rooster Cemetery.
okay.
And Reverend Wooster sued the state of Georgia because there was a law in the books that said white men could live on Indian land. And it went to the Supreme Court and he won. So he gained sovereignty over the land for the Cherokee Nation.
Wow.
And so that's his historical significance. So his family, his wife, I actually had 2 wives, and then his children and some other family members are buried there. But Elias Boudinot is buried there as well.
Okay.
So he was Stan Wadey's brother. Stan Wadey became a Confederate general. He burned down John Ross's plantation home. So if you go east of the Merle home to the Park Hill Nursery, make a right and go across the creek, there is the Ross Museum. Directly in behind the Ross Museum is the Ross Cemetery, and John Ross is buried there. Minerva is buried there. Her parents, Liz and Fanny Holt Ross, are buried there. Her brother is buried there. And then there's other Ross family members in that cemetery as well.
Okay.
And so there is a sign. I don't know if you can see it this time of year, but in the winter you can see. So when you stand at that sign, if you look off to the right, you'll see some trees on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basement of Rose Cottage.
Oh wow. Wow, that's cool.
So it's a pretty neat place. Like I said, with lots of history. The house isn't open right now because the first curator was able to get most of the furnishings back from family members, and so they don't have any way to clean them because of COVID. And so you can they have a reduced entry fee, and you can see the other buildings and stuff, but you can't tour through the house until
Okay.
they lift the restrictions on that. But and then Honey Springs Battlefield site. Have you been down there?
No.
No, but
We
I've
have
heard of
1,000
reenactments and
yeah,
stuff.
We have 1,000 acres of that, but they have a brand new visitors center that's really nice. The Friends group built it, and it's a really good place to visit. So you can kind of do a Civil War tour and learn about Native American history. And
Yeah. Very cool.
so, and then Chief John Ross's wife, Quady, she's buried at Mount Holly Cemetery in Little Rock. She gave her coat to a child on the Trail of Tears and got pneumonia and died in Little Rock.
Wow.
So she's buried there. But that cemetery, you should go see it if you ever get the chance. It's just like unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, all these tombstones that are like Corinthian columns that are 12 foot tall.
Wow.
And if you see one that looks like it's broke off, like Minerva's brother has one. It's because they died before their time. They didn't reach their full life. So
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. So have you ever been to Old Washington, Arkansas? Down in,
I haven't, but I've heard about it.
yeah,
I've been to, we belong to the Arkansas Living History group, and so they have a conference every year. So Shiloh Museum over in Springfield, and places like that we've been to, and I've been to Cane Hill.
Have you been there?
I've been to Old Washington. I hadn't.
Oh yeah, you did a blog on it.
Yeah,
Blog.
yeah, because we used to live down in that area, and it's really neat area to go to.
So this is a personal fact. So my great grandmother was Susan Eldridge, and her son was Thomas Henry, and so it was, I'm telling this wrong, her grandson was Thomas Henry, and so that was my great-great-grandmother's husband. So she was about to die in the late 1890s, and so I have a copy of her handwritten will where she left him her allotment, and it says it's on the west bank at the Grand River at the foot of the mountain directly across from the fort at Fort Gibson.
Wow,
So
Wow.
that is
I
cool.
never knew I'd end up working here, but
Yeah. What a coincidence.
So did you love history in school?
I did not.
So it just grew on you.
I loved music. I was a voice major in college, and then I went to work. I worked for tourism for a year, and then I went to work for the Postal Service and retired as postmaster at Lake Eufaula. And I fostered 21 kids and adopted 4.
Wow.
And my children are older, so I started working part-time over at Hunter's Home and did that for 2 years, and then the full-time position came open here, and so here I am.
That's great. That's an awesome story. I didn't look inside this one, I don't think.
So I haven't been to Portland
This is for married officers. I guess we did look at this one.
on a school field trip.
But this is the same site that you and I visited. The stalks are different. They were longer and lower.
Yeah, I thought there was.
Yeah, they were lower. I mean, I've been here off and on through my whole life, but
Yeah, they were more like the one over here, but it was one long one, and that had, you could lift it up in various places. But time and weather has a tendency to decay.
So is it building enthusiasm again? Are people?
I'm hoping so. My goal is to make it the best site in the Historical Society. So I like to talk about it, and I like to encourage people to come visit. Eventually, if and when they ever lift the COVID restrictions and things kind of go back to whatever normal is going to be, I want to do some cooking demonstrations over in the
that'd be
mess hall.
fun.
And
For period time, period cooking.
like Dutch oven
Back
type
in the-
things.
yeah.
And then I want to open up that sutler store and get it all ready.
Well, I'd like to say that this video will reach thousands and thousands of people to raise interest, but it won't.
Yeah. I
But
don't
the
even
few
think we
people
have-
who see it, maybe they'll be encouraged to come out here.
That's what I like. It's amazing what the power of social media. I mean, it.
Right.
Yeah, we she lives in Tulsa and I live in Echota, and I'm a travel agent on the side, and so it's just trying to showcase different places in Oklahoma that people can
Yeah.
actually go to and see. I sell Disney vacations.
That's how we met, was on a Disney YouTube channel, and then we struck up a awesome friendship and decided to just stream when we're not at Disney here in Oklahoma
Once a
in,
month.
in different spots. Our following is not as good as some other channels, but who cares? We do it for fun and the companionship
So
to meet people.
Oklahoma has a lot of famous people. Do you know who Sylvan Goldman was?
Sylvan Goldman.
He got tired of shopping with bags, and so he put a basket on this little thing he made and went grocery shopping. And
Oh, is that how he-
everybody hated it, so it was awful. So a few years later, he hired a lady to go into the grocery stores with it, and everybody loved it. And so he invented the shopping cart.
Oh, that's cool.
Which
He
is
lived in Oklahoma City,
Oh,
necessity.
off of Northwest 36th and Classen. And when he died, he left all of his fortune to the Sylvan N. Goldman Oklahoma Blood Institute.
wow.
Okay, that's where. Now, was that a well at one time, or a replica, or?
It's a well. It was the original well. One of them. There's, I think, 3 or 4 on site. There's one over here by these 2 chimneys over to the right, and then there's one up behind the bake oven. So the oven's original to the site. It's the building it's in isn't, but
We'll have to come back when you do the cooking classes and
well, we have a friends group, Friends of Fort Gibson. So if you will like that on Facebook, that's where I post when we're going to be doing things.
okay.
Right now, I can't do anything where people gather together and in close proximity for cooking, but hopefully one day I'll be able to.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
So let's walk over here and I'll take you. I ask that you don't film inside the, because they're pretty dirty.
Yeah, no problem.
But I'll show them to you anyway. My plan is to get them all cleaned up and get them where we can hopefully staff them, at least when we're having special here. And I want to do my cooking thing over here. Here's a lot of the stuff that we grow in our garden.
I'm glad we were able to catch up with this tour guide or the guy who runs this area because he's so knowledgeable, so nice. Looks like maybe a little garden. So this is another part of the fort that he's going to show us. I can't film the inside, but he's going to show us. And we'll try and tell you the best we can what it looks like.
You guys want to look inside as well?
Okay, this is where you'll have to keep the camera.
Yeah.
So there's 2, there's a fireplace here to cook on. There's also one just on the other side where that bumps out there.
Oh, wow.
And so this is where I hope to do cooking
Oh, that's
classes. And,
a great
I can
place.
open up all these doors, these windows, have plenty of light, and
It's facing me, so
Yeah,
it's looking at me, not
her shirt.
not this.
Oh, that's fine. So like you can tell, I mean, I've got to get in here, I've got to sweep and wipe stuff down, wipe these things
Yeah, but it's
down.
not like cluttered or anything. You just have to wipe it.
Yeah.
This will be neat.
So before I came here, it got in pretty bad shape, and so those green trash cans are like this big by this tall.
Mm-hmm.
I cleaned those bottom floors and filled it up with a vacuum. I have a battery powered vacuum, and I sucked up one of those full of leaves and dirt.
Wow.
And I just finished cleaning those upstairs rooms where those officers' quarters were.
See, that's what I was thinking. I thought it looks
Very
a lot
clean.
cleaner
Yeah.
than I remember.
And so, but nobody shut the doors, and so the wind
Oh.
would blow and blow everything in.
Yeah, have you ever had a major storm blow through here and
Oh yeah.
wreak some havoc?
Tree limbs mainly, but
Yeah, this would be really neat place.
Yeah.
and I mean, we could do fundraising here.
Sure. You could have events here.
I've got a friend who I went to college with, and he does charity auctions,
Yeah.
and
It is dark.
that's what I work in.
You know,
Is it showing? I mean, are we on?
hey, there's Kay.
Oh, hi, Kay. I just was asking LeAnne if we were on because you're our first visitor.
Yeah, we couldn't show anything in there, so that's why the camera is turned towards.
Yeah, sorry. Kermit's fun and everything, but that was a necessity. Thanks for joining, Kay.
Stonework on that is beautiful.
I guess that's corn right there, or is that
Can't
just
tell, but
weeds?
That's the old hospital.
See, that's where I'm usually up there when they were redoing the fort, where it has all the artifacts and the gift shop and
And there's something used to be there.
the remains of something, yes.
So, what used to be between the two? Is that fireplaces there?
It was a adjutant's office.
Oh, so it was a building.
Yeah, so it was a dog trot like this.
Oh,
except it
Oh,
burned.
like that one. Okay.
it looks small from this angle. Cool.
Well, like I said, I've been cleaning here.
Oh, this is the one where you're not supposed to film.
You can film some of this, just don't put any non-period correct.
That happens when we film Walt Disney too. You have to be very nothing behind the scenes.
So this like a general store?
Yeah, so the Sutler store was civilian owned, and you could buy things that you couldn't normally get on things.
Isn't that beautiful? Look at the picture. And that is so pretty.
That is pretty.
There's good enough others. So I'm in the process of cleaning, and gonna put a post office in here,
Oh, cool.
because there would have been one.
Ah.
And then
So do you guys ever do anything like decorating at Christmas or anything yet, or?
don't know, because I've been here that long. I know they have, like, Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Where they
Disney
have
just
stuff
did
in.
away with Halloween this year. Everybody could come here. Come to Fort Gibson for Halloween. Not so scary.
And then
Fort Gibson.
I'll let you see this next room next door. Like I say, I ask that you don't film it because it's
Yeah.
it's not presentable. Yeah, but it will be. So this was like the officers'
If you want to
club.
look first, I can hold the camera out here.
This was like the officers' club. So we had a bar, we had plenty of play games, we were out visit.
So while Mary Ellen's looking in that room we can't film, I'll just show you around outside here. It's a beautiful morning, not too hot. Just a little bit of sprinkles of rain. So I can hear Mary Ellen getting excited about something that she's seeing in there.
Squirrels running down there. So yeah, I mean, I just gotta get it clean, and so I'm working on a little bit of time. It's kind of hard on Saturdays because we have things to get. But, I'll get there.
That's really cool.
So when you go up on the hill, you come over here.
See, that's where I normally, last time I was here, they were redoing this work, so
I think they're out of the room now.
Then next to that is the magazine. Next to that is the commissary. Across the street with the tall roof you can see back there. See that tree? That's the barracks.
Okay.
So you can go on the bottom floor of the barracks. And it's almost like a big mess hall too. It's got a lot of really good potential. These ruins here are actually foundation ruins of original buildings.
Oh. Really? He found an old newspaper just lying on the floor from, what was it, 1863?
Oh wow, that's cool.
Like,
The New York Times.
all he has to do is frame it. It's got an artifact. After all this time, if he hadn't come, he would have never rescued it. You were here at the right place, right time.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It was meant to be.
Makes me want to come back more, see what.
Yeah, all the.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna work on it and get it in tip-top shape. It just takes time.
Sure.
And it took me almost 30 days to get that work with that stockade clean.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, that will be really cool.
yeah, this place has so much potential,
Uh-huh.
and so I'm gonna market that potential.
Great.
That's my plan.
We'll help you market it with my little video.
Awesome. So can you tag me in it when you?
Absolutely.
Get it done? I'm Greg McGee.
Oh, can you put that on your, just
Oh, I'll type
put
it on my.
text it on your phone or something?
And then I'll share it to the Friends of Fort Gibson, or you can share it there too.
How do you spell your last name?
McGee. Just like Kerr McGee without the money.
Are you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
I am, but right now I've suspended all my accounts on those because I can't
So you
focus and
said-
keep.
Okay.
Friends of Fort Gibson is the Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you want me to tag you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
And if you want to, so I walked down there yesterday. Somebody, you can see right through there, brought their lawnmower. So you can kind of walk down there. You gotta be careful because there's some blackberry vines that you'll trip on if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
But that will take you down to the river without going through those weeds, and
Oh, wow.
it's a
Wow.
path. And so you can see the
So right through there?
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
she said that sometimes it still floods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year, Fort Gibson was completely shut off from,
Oh,
Wow.
from
So
the
did it
flooding.
get up to here?
it got up over there, but it didn't get up into the buildings.
Good.
Originally it would have because it was built, the entrance of the fort was over there. But you can see where, when you go over there, you're gonna see an area down there where water stood so long that it killed all the vegetation underneath. And, but you can see that rock ledge where the steps are,
Uh-huh.
where people would disembark the ships. There would be
Wow.
little boats.
So cool. You want to walk
But
down
be
there,
careful
man?
walking, 'cause like I say, you can't see those
Blackberries.
blackberry vines, and I caught my foot twice yesterday. But you don't have to worry about walking through tall grass or weeds or getting chiggers or anything.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much,
There is
and
a little
thank
bit-
you
there
for
is a little
all your
bit of poison
information.
ivy over there.
Oh.
Small, I mean, and it's just real sparse, so just as long as you know what you're looking for,
Do you know what you're looking for?
I think so. It's at 3-leaf.
I'll show you. We'll walk over there.
I don't want to sound ignorant, but I am.
I used to get it all the time, and I don't hardly get it now. Very seldom. We had sidewalks we've got to uncover.
Oh, look at that. Sure enough. Huh.
So does the Friends of Fort Gibson have an area online where people can give?
I don't have a donate button on there, but you can join through a membership, and that allows you access to this site, or you can go to the Oklahoma Historical Society's webpage and become a member there. It's $50, and it allows you into all the historic sites. You and I think 5 family members.
Okay.
As long as we're not having some kind of special event.
So how much property is on this area?
How many acres?
I believe 42.
Oh, wow.
And then down at Honey Springs, they have 1,000 acres of the original battlefield. It might be 80 acres, and we mow 42 here. I've never been down there for this.
We're going on an adventure.
Yeah. We're on an adventure, guys. I think our goal is getting to the river. I'm not really sure now. This is a little more of an adventure I wanted to go on, but we're almost there, I think. Thank you, everyone who is watching this on replay. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe. LeAnne's helping me navigate. I'm not wearing tennis shoes, so it's making it a little more difficult for me. I should have worn my tennis shoes. Oh.
So this here is Virginia creeper.
And what is this?
It's the vine. That's poison oak right there.
Oh,
Poison oak right there.
yeah, I would have never seen that. Oh, wow. This is where they would come in on their ships back in the 1800s to get up to the fort. I have never been down here before. Very cool. I believe the fort was originally built down here. You could see where the water has risen. One time this was underwater. Wow, this is beautiful. So this is where they come in on their boats.
Yeah, on these rock ledges, they would pull up here and use these as steps. That's just so peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is, so they said there's rings underneath the trestle where they would tie the boats to, and that I-beam sticking out has a, but I don't know if that's original or.
Oh, wow.
Is
Beautiful
this
area.
bridge? Oh, that's the old bridge.
That's the old, well that one there's
The one
train
up
bridge,
front.
The next one's
Oh.
the old bridge, and then that's the new bridge.
Okay. Train, old, new.
Yeah.
I think we lost Kay.
So, but all this was underwater last year.
I can tell.
The water plant was underwater.
Oh, wow.
Well, we had to have bottled water brought in.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I didn't know it.
something right there. I didn't go up there because of poison ivy.
Oh wow,
But
look
that's
here.
something that was
That's probably
built.
original.
Yeah. But all that's poison ivy, so I didn't.
So you said the original fort gates would be somewhere in here?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
They're open to the river.
History of that.
Yeah, it's starting to come down pretty hard now.
You ever come down here on your mower mode nicely paths?
Yeah.
Poison ivy.
Poison ivy.
Poison ivy. Poison ivy. Poison
Kind of stay in
ivy.
this lane over here.
Poison ivy right there by my toe.
That's wide.
But that one right there is, yeah, pretty good.
So this was all underwater.
Yeah. And the only way you can get to Fort Gibson was to go from 69 Highway over to the Wagner and then top Highway 51 to Southpaw and back into the east.
Oh wow. I can do Wagner and okay.
I never know. The Wagner was the first incorporated city once they opened that settlement to the west. So my house was up in 1892.
Oh wow. Oh, there's, yeah, I see.
Blackberry,
Oh, there's, yeah, one over there too.
blackberries. Thank you so much for your time.
I thought there for a minute it was just going to start pouring, but
Yeah.
fortunately it didn't.
What kind of plant is this?
Water treatment.
Water treatment?
That's their sewage plant, so they purify it and put it back into the river. So that's cleaner going in than it was coming out.
So do you still live in Wagner?
I do.
Hi, Timothy Rainwaters. He said hi to you, LeAnne.
Hey,
We're at Fort Gibson. There's LeAnne.
we just took a
We just
very
took a-
extensive tour.
Yes.
We went off-roading. And where does Timothy live?
Timothy, you're in either Indiana, Ohio, somewhere in that vicinity, right? Or Tennessee? I don't know. Which state are you from? Kentucky. Okay, I danced all around it, but yes,
Well, you're close enough that you could come and visit the fort.
that's right.
Make a family vacation. Until Disney World opens.
Yeah,
up.
I can't go to Disney World right now. It's just not worth it.
Have you ever gone to the Lockton Dam?
Yes, as a kid, it was part of the. I think we did Fort Gibson, and then we went and did a Walking Dam, which is very interesting.
It's funny how they name them because so between Wagner and Muskogee is the Churchill Lockton Dam.
Yeah.
It's really interesting what they go through.
And I love the old Fort Gibson Dam because it's like you're driving across and there's that one brick, rock wall,
Yeah, I've been there.
and that's the dam you can see from Sequoia Park, right?
Yes.
If you go out to the very tip of.
There's a new restaurant out there too.
Oh, I hadn't.
It's called Foggy Bottoms.
Oh, is it pretty good?
Yeah, it looks like some people I know ate there last night and they took pictures of it. They completely redone it. It's right on that point.
Oh, okay.
And
Because I love to go out there and just walk around and
yeah,
look at the water.
no, they are charging fees now to go in.
The railroad tracks. Oh, are you really going to go though? With all the regulations they have in place that you may not even get into the parks? He's going to go in October.
Have you been to the Blue Hole?
No, but it's right over there where I live, in that area.
It's north of Locust Grove.
Right, I live.
It's pretty cool. And we got a lot of bathtub rocks over by Helen Falls.
I haven't been there yet either.
It's a neat place. Natural Falls State Park.
Yeah, I've been there.
Big Springs.
I was going to take her there to Natural Falls where they filmed
Redfern
some of
grows?
Redfern.
They also film part of the Redfern, where the Redfern grows over it behind Hunter's House.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well,
You make it that far over, and then you go south. I can't say this on there.
Oh.
Go to
Oh, you get priority. Okay. Well, then that could be worth it. But there'll be no fireworks and no parades?
well, thank you so much. We really enjoyed it, and
Yes, thank you so much. And I will tag
link
you.
up.
You're welcome.
I will tag you on this video.
All right, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. We didn't know nearly what you said.
Yeah. And I loved going down there and seeing the actual place where the boats pulled up, and that was just cool.
Timothy Rainwater says they're pass holders, so they get priority to get into the park. Okay, we're going to call it.
Yeah, we're starting to get
It's
wet,
getting
sweaty.
raining a lot more, and we walked to places we didn't think we'd walk.
And Mary Ellen's in sandals.
I'm in sandals, and so I hope I don't get poison ivy. I probably should have just given you the camera and said, go for it. I've never been exposed, I don't think, so I don't know how I'm going to react. Anyway, thank you all for joining so much.
If
And
you're just now catching us, go back to the very beginning, because there's a lot of interesting stuff at the very beginning.
yes, he walked us through parts of the fort and told stories, and so did the lady at the very beginning.
We got a very special tour on this.
We really did.
A lot of places that a lot of people don't go.
Right. So yes, he took us into buildings that normal people can't go into. So check it out. Hit the like button, share, subscribe if you like my channel, and to Sooner Girl Travels, which is LeAnne's channel.
Yes, and check out Friends of Fort Gibson on Facebook. That's a page that he oversees, and it will give you a lot of information as well.
Timothy said that they can't park hop, which is
Yeah,
right.
everybody's.
But on Monday they get to pick which parks they want to go to. So kind of
Yeah,
saves you
see.
money. You just buy a one-day park pass.
I have to pick my clients that I have booked. Now I have to go in also and pick their parks, which is going to be an interesting aspect to travel.
Did you get your Disney masks in yet?
No,
I think mine come in today.
mine I think got lost somewhere. It's aggravating.
So the next live stream, you'll see us in our Disney masks, hopefully. And thank you for joining. Thank you for anybody who comes in,
Any money? Yeah.
anybody that comes in and checks out the stream, and we appreciate it. So if you have the choice, choose kindness.
And you have but this one life to live, so go out and capture your moments.
Bye. Have a happy Saturday.